I got a theory. Men hate each other and they probably hate themselves too. I noticed like men don't know how to interact with each other online. How men insult each other, belittle each other. It's kind of insane.
What a loser! What a loser!
And it's something that's hard for me to ignore. So that's why I wanted to use my experience with Reddit. I actually did a social experience, but I just like, yo, I'm just gonna start posting in Reddit. I came across this men's fashion community on Reddit. It's basically a community for people who want to post their fits, ask advice, you name it, whatever. So I started pulling off my fits. I'm fly, you know? I think I'm fly. So whatever, I started posting my fits. Keep in mind, a lot of people in that group, they seem to be very towards the conservative side of things. So styles that kind of go outside of the norm, I could tell that they're not used to that. But granted, whatever, I started posting in there. And, you know, for the most part, did got a lot of like positive feedback because a lot of upvotes, as you could see. But one thing I do notice, or I started to notice, is the type of comments I was getting inside of these groups. And a lot of them weren't really that constructive. A lot of them was just to kind of insult me. Let's take a look at some of these comments. He's a slob and a liar. This guy is not pitching ideas in $1 billion industry. Okay. Bro, you look homeless. This guy wrote a whole paragraph about me being a narcissist and I don't have style, and he was just really inventing a whole story about me. Looks like the dude came into a rehab to talk about how to spread HIV. Whoa. What are you speaking at? A LGBTQ rodeo? What zero father figure do to a MF? Why is it so normalized for men to talk to other men like that? And some of those comments were pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I chuckled a bit, but at the same time, I started to think, it's like, you don't know who's at the end of that screen. Like, I'm someone who could take insults and stuff of that nature because I'm comfortable who I am. And I thank God that I'm in a very good mental space. But I know for a fact many aren't as fortunate. So it had me thinking, what about the men who are not in good mental space, who are receiving those type of insults? How do they manage it? But I have a theory. You know, one of the reasons why us men, we have a hard time to be kind to each other is because we're in constant competition. Think about it. We're in competition with women, we're in competition in terms of status, we're in competition in terms of wealth. Any opportunity that we have to one up someone, even as small as it is to show your dominance in terms of insulting someone or to belittle anyone, we're going to take advantage of that. And I think the need for us to always compete is one of the reasons why we can't be nice to each other. And you know what prevents us from being kind to each other is labels. When a guy is being nice to another guy, he's gay. A guy is too nice to a woman, he's a simp.
Sounds about right.
All these labels prevent us from being a kind, decent human being. So by default, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna be assholes and be rude to each other because that's what's accepted among men to be. But being kind to anything else, being kind to other guys, or being kind to women, that's out of the equation. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
I hate it here.
And if you're a guy who has it all figured out and you're a ladies' man and you're on the top of your game, trust me, a lot of men don't like you. Because the reason why is because you bring out a lot of insecurities into men. An example I want to bring up, Jonathan Majors. Yes, I know he's very controversial. Say what you want about him, whatever the case may be. But hear me out on this theory that I have. Do you remember at the height of his career? So he just came off Creed 3, he got cast for Kang and whatever the case may be. And he started doing like these shoots where he's like flexing his muscles. He started doing interviews. He was like the man. I remember very clearly, like women were all for him. And one of the reasons why is because he started doing interviews where he was talking about like being vulnerable, like his definition of masculinity. And
Like, what is your definition of masculinity?
It's balanced, isn't it? There's strength, right? And there's vulnerability. There's awareness, and then there's acknowledgement of ignorance. A big part of it is kindness.
all of that jazz, basically. And I remember a lot of men were hating on him for that. A lot of men were just like, yo, he's not all that. Like, white people are tripping about this guy. And I remember that. What was very interesting when he got charged for abuse, for assault, a lot of women kind of back away from him. They were just like, yo, you know what? Like, this guy's problematic. I'm staying away from him. I did notice that there was a rise of a lot of men who started supporting him. And I found that very interesting. This guy who was at the height of his career, and then he fell to grace with the other common men. And that's when other men felt comfortable to be like supporting this guy and be like, no, he needs to get his job back. That's very interesting. Insecure men want to be around other insecure men. If another insecure man notice a secure man, they don't like that because they don't like competition. Think about it. If you're an insecure guy and you're around other insecure guys, who's your competition, really? As men, we need to gas each other up instead of constantly trying to humble each other. We need to be really like, yo, you got a new job? Yo, shout out to you. What? Like, you got a new girl and she's super hot? Like, yo, that's what's up. Yo, you just got that crazy fit. Like, I love that. Like, I love doing that because it makes me feel good and it makes the other person feel good. We need to be elevated. We need to be uplifted. Everyone deserves to feel good about themselves. Like, why not? So until the next time, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And until the next time, peace and love.